So agree with all that. And I have a very specific moment actually that happened last year in Michigan that was, I will never forget this day. So we're driving in our police escort for our Saturday's air show in Michigan. And while we're on the way to the airport, there is a fatal accident and Chris Darnell died, Shockwave's driver, right at Show Center, right in front of the crowd. His wife and kids were there. And, I want you to kind of picture this because, we drove in that day to fly an air show and here's what happened. We arrive at the field and air show is, first decision is, are we going to continue with the show at all? This is a macro decision that somebody's got to make at the air show side, not just Thunderbird side, but so all the teams meet and decide, are we going to fly at all? We decided not to. That was followed quickly by, because I'm Thunderbird 1, go meet the family who literally just watched their father and husband pass away in an accident and just talk to them. And I had 15 minutes notice for that and then walked into their trailer and talked to that family. And it was an unbelievably sobering moment and kind of a realization of how dangerous this industry is. Discussed a few things with them, decided to dedicate Sunday's Thunderbird show to Chris, which meant for the rest of that day, here's what happened. So I left that meeting in their trailer. I met with the Latvian ambassador because Michigan is Latvia's state, and that was on the schedule for a meeting. Then I did multiple interviews with our new team members who were applying to the team. Then I did what's called a Farkle ceremony, where we honor somebody from the team in front of their family. And if you can imagine, like, that air show wasn't supposed to be canceled, so their family had traveled from all over the country to witness that ceremony. So that ceremony went on as well. And then we went back into our debrief room at about 1900 and replanned our demonstration to have a missing man element for Chris Darnell that we executed the next day. When I put all that together, that went on from about 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. that day. That is an experience I will never forget. And it really paints the picture of this Thunderbird 1 job. It is not about you. You are a uniform. You the human, no one is ever going to know who Astro Elliott is. But this position, whether you've been in the job for 15 minutes or for 2 years, the expectation when something goes wrong is that you take the lead in that air show community and make all those things happen in a single day, sometimes with no notice. It's astounding.
I was going to piggyback on that because Chris was a good buddy of mine, a phenomenal friend, human being, father, husband. And I would say, boss, the piece of informal, which I'm sure I know you were exposed to and saw it, but there is a video that's out there of you speaking on Sunday, yes. I think, after the performance, talking about some of the significance, which is pretty powerful. I think Rick Peterson put that together. But I know one aspect that you guys did was putting Chris's name on the jet, which, as you talked about earlier, it's not like you guys had the back shop there in Michigan. So it was a team effort to go figure out how to scrape together off the jets in town to be able to put his name on the jet. And then do you mind recalling that some of the significance of him flying with you guys on that? Because for me, it's powerful. Again, Chris is a good buddy of mine.
Thanks for mentioning that. I did not know that video was out there, and I do remember that ceremony. It was Sunday right after landing from that demo with the missing man. It was important to us that he flew in the wheel well. That's where we put our fallen warriors. We'll do those ceremonies on occasion in different hometowns, and typically we know that there's going to be a fallen warrior, so we have those letters already pre-printed and we can put those in the wheel well. Our maintenance team, they're incredible human beings. They literally went and peeled individual letters off of the aircraft that we had to create Chris Darnell's name in the wheel well, so that when we take off, the gear comes up, it folds into the heart of the aircraft. It's what we call it, and that's where we fly our fallen warriors. And then, to your point, Rain, like I said, didn't know the video was out there, but here's how that went. I landed, parked, did a show shutdown, saluted off, and then a cluster of, I want to estimate, about 80 to 100 people surrounded the jet to see his name, and it became an impromptu fallen warrior ceremony for Chris. And one of the most meaningful times of my life.
Thanks for doing that. I know that was meant a lot to the family. Particularly, it's something that we're going through literally the worst time in your life. To have someone take the time and the effort to honor his legacy, it's huge.
Man, well, you can't top that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Rand,
mic drop.
Yeah, mic drop. Rand, you want to do the outro?